Hello there, gang gang, gang gang, gang gang, gang gang, gang gang. Welcome back. Hold up, my headphones aren't plugged in fully. And welcome back to the I'm Myaky channel. If you're returning, but if you're new here, hey, how's it going? So, we all know I'm an amazing student. I don't know if you've heard my past stories about how much of a good student I am. I'm such a good student that I got ASD this week. If you don't know what that is because you're too much of goody goody two shoes, that's after school detention. Crazy. And somehow it's because of an English class again. Not because I started a food fight, but because I earned a truancy and then they called me dishonest, even though I told the truth. That's all I'm mad about. I don't even have anything to be mad about when it comes to this because that was well-deserved ASD. That was well-deserved because I'm just living my life, okay? I'm just having fun. Skipping class. I don't skip class. That's not good. Big safety hazard, and I understand that. My mom's a teacher. I get that. But hey, I did it before, and I just didn't communicate this time. And they thought I was lying because they saw on the school cameras that I walked into my class and walked out, and then they said, oh, it's because the sub said no yesterday, and so she knew the answer and just left anyway. And I'm like, that's not what it was. I was going to ask another teacher first, so then I didn't have to lie. But guess what? The sub in the other class that I was going to, I didn't know he was a sub because he wouldn't give me a straight answer. Not blaming this on anyone, but I was like, Cheney, are you the sub? And he's like, don't act so disappointed. Be like, yay, Cheney. I could have assumed from there, but you know what assuming does, right? Makes an ass out of you and me. I had done this the Monday before, so I was like, oh, I'm probably fine. But I guess it wasn't because all the counselors, the attendance office, vice principal was looking for me. They went on a Maya manhunt, and I was just doing English for the second time that day because I wanted to hang out with my friends. It was so worth it, though. I ended up throwing grapes. We were trying to get grapes in each other's mouth, and I will say, we hit a nasty trick shot. And then we started flapping our arms like seals and hitting our bellies, jumping up and down, celebrating. I love seals, and I think this was awesome. I was told by my other friend who may have been also hanging out in that classroom that I was a little nervous that I didn't say anything. He's like, it's not that big of a deal, but it was. And when he was doing head count, he's like, why is there 2 more students than there's supposed to be here? And we were giggling, and everyone just said, oh, it's okay, they're just here, it's fine. You know, when I got called to the office, the amount of people who were willing to say, we will be your alibi, Maya, was crazy. It's like, I'm not lying. I'm not gonna lie. I don't like lying. There's no reason to. And then I walked into silly little vice principal's office, but I forgot my stuff at first because they didn't tell me to. Oh wait, let me back up. Hold up. I should say there was a phone call to the classroom, and you know who answered it? My friend who was also hiding in that class with me because we wanted to do English again and just hang out. He answered it. I was like, hello? Gulp. And then he looked at me and I'm like, it's over. It's over. The run was fun, gang. And then they called me to the office, but he didn't tell me to bring my stuff. So then I was sent back to go get my stuff. And they're like, oh, so you're fine, you can just stay here? I'm like, no, they just told me to get my stuff. And I'm like, you'll... I walked out of the classroom looking at my friend and I'm like, you will rue this day. Even though I don't know, I never actually watched iCarly. I only copy what my cousin says because I can. They make fun of me for it. Then I got a talking to for truancy, and I'm like, okay, made a mistake, made a bad call. But then they called me dishonest because I didn't tell them about the day before when the sub said, no, the plans say don't let anyone out. And I'm like, well, you didn't ask about that. And they're like, for being dishonest, you're getting after school detention. I'm like, dishonest about what? I didn't lie about anything. You just didn't ask me about that, so I wasn't thinking about it. I didn't say that because I was in a bad mood to just argue, so I wasn't going to. And they had to check my alibi or something. Like, bitch, I'm not gonna lie. There's no reason to. And so when I was waiting, one of my favorite teachers came up as like, what you looking at? And I'm like, the letters on the wall, why do they look like that? Because they're kind of ugly. We yapped about that for a bit, and then the vice principal called me dishonest in front of my favorite teacher. And I'm like, no, Why would you do such a thing? I never lied. And she told me, you get after school detention. And I said, okie dokie. And then they sent me off to my next class crying. Womp womp. And all my friends who had that class looked at me and they're like, Maya, they got you. They got you. I'm like, they slammed me out, twin. It's over, twin. I got after school detention. Like, it was that serious? I'm like, it was that serious, gang. And then I cleaned tables for an hour and it wasn't bad. Janitor, Rod, we love Rod, just so you know. Rod is awesome. He trusts me. He's like, oh, Miss Maya, you're helping me out today? I'm like, yep. And so then I went and cleaned tables for an hour happily. I'm like, ooh, my cousin's gonna get a kick out of this. Like, and I cleaned tables, laughing to myself for an hour. The end. Just kidding, because the next day, my favorite teacher was like, oh, Maya, is this your first detention? And I told her yes. And then there's like a slight grin that formed on her face, and she put her hand up and was like, nice, you need to get one of those before you graduate. And I started laughing hysterically because I didn't think she was going to congratulate me on my first detention. That was crazy, and I think that's the funniest part of this all, was that I got a high five and a celebration for my favorite teacher for getting my first detention. Yeah, moral of the story, tell your teachers where you're going. I don't think they care once you hit high school. As long as you're doing your work, they don't gaff. But communication. Communication is key, gang. And that's in everything you do. Hooray, moral of the story. Woohoo! That's really all I got for this video. I just thought it was really, really funny, and I just wanted to tell the entire world about how I got after school detention. I mean, within the first hour of me getting after school detention, I bragged about it to my entire 6th period. So I was like, this is awesome. This is so funny. This is hilarious even. And so, yeah, I like telling people. I told my favorite student teacher and he's like, yeah, this checks out. And I'm like, how dare you? And so my friends, I guess we just gotta pull squad's detention. I'm like, that is not the moral of the story, but okay. I hope you liked today's video. If you're new here, maybe subscribe, because I'm probably gonna be a little more mischievous before the end of the year. But I hope you have a good rest of your day or night, depending on where you are. And if it's your birthday, happy birthday. I don't remember how I used to do my outros, but until next time, toodaloo, gang gang.
Bye bye.